What if everything you think you're doing right is actually working against you? The skipped breakfasts, the just powering through the pain, the vitamins you take without knowing why. If you're a woman over 50, some of your most trusted daily habits could be quietly stealing your energy, your strength, and your years. Today, we stop that. Hi, I'm Dr. Zoe Bennett, and welcome back to the channel. I've spent years in this office sitting across from women just like you, smart, capable, strong women who came in thinking they were doing everything right, only to find out that a few small, everyday habits were working against their health in ways nobody had ever explained to them. And the frustrating part, most of these habits aren't things you'd ever think to question. They feel responsible, they feel healthy, they feel like things good women just do, but after 50, your body changes in ways that mean some of the old rules simply don't apply anymore. So today, I'm going to walk you through 7 things I see women over 50 doing all the time, things that feel harmless or even virtuous, but that may actually be working against your strength, your mind, your hormones, and your long-term health. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do instead. Stay with me to the end because the 7th one is the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most important of all. Let's start with the first thing. Number 1, stop skipping strength training because you think cardio is enough. For decades, women were taught that the goal of exercise was to get smaller, to burn calories, to slim down, to take up less space. So generation after generation of women grew up walking, jogging, taking aerobics classes, doing anything that would make the scale go down. And don't get me wrong, cardiovascular exercise is wonderful for your heart and your mood. But here's what nobody told you. Starting in your 30s and accelerating sharply after 50, your body begins losing muscle mass every single year. This process has a name, sarcopenia, and it doesn't ask for permission. By the time many women reach their 60s, they've lost a significant percentage of the muscle they had in their 20s, and with it, strength, balance, bone density, and metabolic rate. Walking alone will not stop this. Yoga alone will not stop this. The only thing that meaningfully slows or reverses this muscle loss is resistance training, lifting weights, using resistance bands, or doing bodyweight exercises that challenge your muscles to grow. I've had patients walk into my office almost in tears because a simple fall led to a fracture that took months to heal, and the root cause traced back to years of avoiding anything that felt like lifting. You do not need to become a bodybuilder. You need 2 to 3 sessions a week of real resistance work, squats, rows, presses, anything that makes your muscles work against load. Your bones, your joints, and your independence in your 70s and 80s depend on the strength you build right now. Number 2, stop ignoring your sleep and treating exhaustion as normal. I cannot tell you how many women sit in this very chair and tell me they haven't slept well in years, said almost casually, like it's just a fact of life after 50, like sleeplessness is a tax you pay for getting older. It is not. Yes, hormonal shifts during perimenopause and menopause absolutely affect sleep architecture. Many women experience night sweats, racing thoughts, or waking at 3 a.m. for no clear reason. But common does not mean fine to ignore. Poor sleep after 50 is linked to higher risks of heart disease, weight gain, memory problems, and mood disorders. Your brain uses deep sleep to clear out waste products that, left to accumulate, are associated with cognitive decline. Your body uses sleep to regulate the very hormones that control your appetite, your stress response, and your inflammation levels. So when I hear I just don't sleep well anymore, that's just how it is. What I actually hear is an unaddressed problem with consequences stacking up year after year. The fix isn't always complicated. It starts with consistency, going to bed and waking at the same time daily, even on weekends. It means treating your bedroom as a cool, dark, screen-free space. It means being honest with your doctor if night sweats or anxiety are disrupting you because there are real evidence-based interventions available. Stop normalizing exhaustion. Your sleep is not optional, it is foundational. Number 3, stop eating the same way you did in your 30s. This one surprises people every time. Your metabolism, your hormone balance, your gut microbiome, and your nutritional needs at 50 are simply not the same as they were 20 years earlier. Yet so many women keep eating exactly the way they always have, then wonder why their energy, digestion, or weight has changed. Here's what's actually happening. As estrogen declines, women often become more insulin resistant, meaning the same amount of carbohydrate has a bigger impact on blood sugar than it once did. At the same time, you need more protein, not less, to protect that muscle mass we just talked about. Many women are also underconsuming calcium, vitamin D, and fiber, 3 things that become increasingly critical for bone health and gut health after 50. So if you're still building meals the way you did in your 20s and 30s, heavy on quick carbohydrates, light on protein, with little thought to bone-supporting nutrients, Your plate may actually be working against your changing body. This doesn't mean a drastic diet overhaul. It means prioritizing protein at every meal, adding more fiber-rich vegetables, paying attention to calcium and vitamin D intake, and talking to your doctor about whether your nutrient levels need checking. Food is one of the most powerful tools you have, and after 50, it deserves a second look. Number 4, stop pushing through pain and assuming it's just part of aging. This is one of the habits that worries me most because it delays diagnoses I could have caught years earlier. So many women come to me describing joint pain, persistent fatigue, or unexplained discomfort that they've simply lived with for years, assuming it's an inevitable part of getting older. Sometimes that assumption is wrong. Pain is information. New or worsening pain after 50 can be related to anything from arthritis to thyroid imbalances, vitamin deficiencies, or other treatable conditions. But if you never mention it, it never gets investigated. I understand the instinct. Many women in this generation were raised to be tough, to not complain, to push through. But pushing through pain instead of asking, why is this happening, means you might be missing the chance to treat something early when it's far easier to manage. If something hurts that didn't used to hurt, if fatigue feels different than ordinary tiredness, if discomfort is new and persistent, that is worth a conversation with your doctor, not silent endurance. Number 5, stop avoiding the doctor's office because you're afraid of what they'll say. I see this constantly, and I understand it completely. There's a very real fear that walking into a doctor's office after 50 means walking out with a list of diagnoses you didn't want to hear. So instead, some women avoid checkups altogether, skip their blood work, postpone their screenings, and tell themselves, I'll go if something feels really wrong. But here's the hard truth. The conditions that most affect women after 50, heart disease, osteoporosis, certain cancers, thyroid disorders, are often silent in their early stages. They don't always announce themselves with obvious symptoms. By the time something feels really wrong, the most easily treatable window may have already passed. Regular checkups, blood work, bone density scans, and recommended screenings aren't about finding bad news. They're about finding small, manageable issues before they become big, complicated ones. Knowledge is not the enemy here. Avoidance is, I always tell my patients, the appointment you're afraid to make is usually the one you need most. Number 6, stop believing that mental and emotional health are separate from physical health. For most of medical history, we treated the mind and the body as two different systems, seen by two different kinds of doctors, discussed in two different conversations. We now know that is simply not how the human body works. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which affects blood sugar, blood pressure, sleep, and even bone density. Unaddressed anxiety or depression are linked to higher rates of heart disease. Loneliness, which becomes more common for many women after 50, as children leave home, friendships shift, or a spouse passes, has been studied as a genuine risk factor for early mortality, comparable to smoking. Yet so many women treat their emotional well-being as an afterthought, something to deal with if there's time, while physical symptoms get all the attention. If you've been feeling persistently low, anxious, isolated, or overwhelmed, that is not separate from your physical health, it is your physical health. Reaching out to a therapist, prioritizing real connection with others, and being honest with your doctor about your mental state is just as important as managing your cholesterol or blood pressure. Your mind and body have never been two different patients. They are one. And now number 7, the one I think matters most, and the one almost nobody talks about. Stop making yourself the last priority in your own life. I have watched so many incredible women, mothers, grandmothers, caregivers, professionals spend decades putting everyone else first. Their children's needs first, their partner's needs first, their aging parents' needs first, their jobs first, and somewhere in that long list, their own health, their own rest, their own joy gets pushed quietly to the bottom year after year until it almost disappears. I want to be very direct with you, this is not noble self-sacrifice. This is a pattern that catches up with your body. Chronic self-neglect shows up as skipped meals, ignored symptoms, postponed checkups, sleep sacrificed for one more task, and exercise abandoned because there's no time. After 50, your body needs you to reverse this pattern, not continue it. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is the very thing that allows you to keep showing up for everyone you love for longer and with more strength. Putting your own health first isn't the end of generosity, it's what makes generosity sustainable. So let's bring this all together. Stop skipping strength training, your muscles and bones need resistance work, not just cardio. Stop ignoring your sleep, exhaustion is not a normal price of aging, it's a signal. Stop eating the way you did decades ago, your body's needs for protein, fiber, calcium, and vitamin D have changed. Stop pushing through pain silently, new or worsening pain deserves investigation, not endurance. Stop avoiding the doctor out of fear. Early detection is your greatest advantage. Stop separating mental health from physical health. They were never two different things. And stop putting yourself last. Your well-being is not optional. It is the foundation everything else stands on. If even one of these struck a nerve today, I want you to take that feeling seriously. Not as guilt, but as information. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply at a stage of life where your body is asking for a different kind of care than it used to, and now that you know what to look for, you have the power to give it exactly that. I always remind my patients, this isn't about fear and it isn't about perfection. It's about awareness and about making small, consistent choices that compound into real, lasting health over the years ahead. Of course, everything I've shared here today is general guidance, and your own health story is unique to you. If anything in this video resonated, especially around new pain, persistent fatigue, sleep changes, or your emotional well-being, please bring it up with your own doctor. A real conversation with someone who knows your history will always be more valuable than anything you hear in a video, including this one. If this video gave you even one thing to think about today, do me a favor and hit subscribe because every week, I'm breaking down exactly what women over 50 need to know to live stronger, longer, and with more confidence in their own bodies. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 7 surprised you the most. I read every single one and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. And if you know a woman in your life who needs to hear this today, send this video her way. She might just thank you for it. Until next time, take care of yourself the way you'd take care of someone you love because you deserve exactly that. I'll see you in the next video.